Hey everyone, how's it going? In this video, I want to talk about the Lectric XP performance on asphalt and as well as bumpy asphalt, cornering, going through uneven asphalt in the park, and then taking it a little off-road on a grassy, patchy with a lot of roots growing up onto the grass, and show you how bumpy that can be. But again, these do have 4-inch fat tires, so it absorbs a lot of the imperfection on the road and as well as any bump. But you will see there will be certain times, even with these fat tires, it will be a lot bumpier than if you were to have a front fork suspension. In cornering, it handles very well with these fat tires, so I feel very confident and comfortable riding this at high speed. I'm just showing you, we're cruising about 15 miles per hour is the best speed to feel very secure as you cruise through those curvy bike lanes at pedal assist 2, 3, 4, 5. I would recommend settling at 3, 4, and 5 becomes very punchy, especially if you unlock the speed limit. So as we continue, we will have to cross a wood bridge. This is where you will be able to see how much vibration comes up from the fat tires to the handlebars based on the up and down. I do have a gimbal camera attached, so the camera will not show any vibration, but you will see the vibration from my hands on the handlebar shortly. And again, don't get me wrong, the fat tires does do its justice for 80% of the time if you're on even paved road and there's occasion where you need to go off-road a little bit or cross some bumpy, uneven asphalt or pavement. So here's the bridge that I was speaking of. It's a wood bridge, and you will see the vibration coming up from the fork. It's quite a lot of vibration, especially going faster speed. Here I'm cruising very slowly, and you can already see there's a lot of vibration coming up. So if I were to have a fork suspension here, you won't even see any vibration, especially in combination with the fat tire, very minimum. So for a long road that has uneven pavement, you probably want to switch out for a fork suspension as well as a seat suspension. The bike doesn't come with either, but there is an option to order from their website for a seat post suspension. And the fork, you can buy that aftermarket. The only problem is you won't be able to install the front fenders if you install those fork. And I'll post a link where you can find some of these accessories in the description of this video. So again, cruising speed with pedal assist 5, you can pedal comfortably and get up to 25, 26 miles per hour. If you want to go 28 miles per hour, you're gonna have to over pedal fairly quickly, just like a clown would do on a circuit show. So for short pace passing, that will be fine, but doing it for long periods of time, it can be exhausting and you're not having any resistance, so it feels like you're pedaling on clouds. Something to keep in mind, not that many of you will unlock the bike beyond 20 miles per hour, but it's good to have that ready in case you need to pass somebody or speed to get to a destination faster than 20 miles per hour. So here we are in the park. There's definitely a lot more imperfection on the bike path, the walk path, due to the tree roots, etc. But nothing not manageable by these fat tires, even if we go right over those bump or imperfection, the bike handles just fine. You can definitely tell it's a heavy bike if you try to jump jump a curve or jump off of a little imperfection in the asphalt, it does fine, but when it comes down, there's a lot of vibration coming from the fenders. Definitely not a bike that you want to jump curve with, especially with no suspension. You might actually injure yourself, so keep in mind, if you want to be able to jump curve, definitely switch out those fork for suspension fork, as well as a seat post with some cushion and suspension too. So in a little bit we'll go off-roading. I wouldn't call it off-roading, but onto a grass patchy area where there's a lot of imperfection, as well as tree roots that grow on top of the grass, and you will see how much vibration comes for it, and as well as how that bike handles. I never feel the bike is under power, even going uphill, steep hill, incline, or through grass patchy area. The one thing I notice is it does take a lot of battery power when you go off-road. So consider that as something that you need to look into, having an extra battery if you plan to take the bike off-roading off the tarmac. It's good to have. This e-bike has a 10.4 amp battery size, so it's not the biggest one you can find out there for e-bikes. It's pretty much the average, if not almost average, and it gets you a good up to 50 miles of range if you're on pedal assist 2, 1 and 2, and then approximately 20 miles to 30 miles if you're on pedal assist 3 and 4, and if you're on pedal assist 5 cruising at 28 miles per hour, you're probably looking at maybe 15 to 20 miles at most. So depending on if you're on a flat road and how much you weigh as well, how much PSIs are in the tires, a lot of factors come into play when you factor in the range. So let's go ahead and take this bike a little off the bike path and walk path onto a grassy area. This grassy area do have some hills, small hills, and you can see the vibration is almost similar to me riding on that wood bridge. Again, I'm not putting a lot of pressure forward, and I'm letting you see how much vibration is coming up from the fork and the wheels. And then we're gonna get on this sidewalk and then cut across and get onto another patch shortly. So again, very smooth considering there's no shock or spring or suspension on this bike. It's not unbearable. For short duration off-road, it will be just fine. Again, these are hard-packed grass. They're not soft grass, and there's a lot of imperfection in the ground, as well as roots growing above the ground. So that's where you're seeing all the vibration. So hopefully you find this video helpful. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. There will be more to come. Remember to subscribe, and catch you all next time.